Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and I am here today to give you a bit of a reading update, what I finished over the weekend, and what I'm kind of working on this week, as well as a quick story time at the end, because I've had a day, and I feel like you will appreciate it, or at least get a giggle at my expense, which is the same thing, really. So, a couple of days ago, I told you that Elena and I were working on book three of the Adventurers series by Gemma Hatt. That was The Adventurers in the City of Lies. We finished that Sunday evening and gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a very good book. It focused on the kids chasing art thieves through London. So we did very much enjoy that. Raylan likes to shout ideas from the back when she's not watching the penguins on her Kindle while we're going through the books. So that is City of Lies. That is a bus that they steal. Uh, like I said, very, very good. We gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And we began book 4. Yes. And we began book 4, which is the Continental, I want to say Chase. Yes, the Continental Chase. So we are probably about halfway through that one. And in that one, we get our Egyptian adventurer friends back in the mix, and they're in France. Big fun. We are very much enjoying it so far. I also completed Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Bertman. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely a book that I would highly recommend. It's about so much more than just a scavenger hunt for a book. It has so much more in it than just literary merit. It talks about friends and family and opening yourself up, and it's absolutely beautiful. I was actually a little disappointed to find out that it's the beginning of a series. I thought it was a one off, and I was like, this is beautiful and amazing, and it wrapped up so nicely, leaves just enough to the imagination that somebody can finish it up and just, in their head come up with the best thing that they think would work for the characters. And then I found out it is the first in a series. I probably will not be continuing on with the series anytime soon, although I'm sure I will at some point read the next section. I am, however, starting the Hidden Adult Defining Children's Literature. This is for my, it's not a dissertation and it's not a capstone project, but it basically is both in my final class for my master's degree. And I've started reading that, and by started reading it, I mean just barely. I am also still working on St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves by Karen Russell. This is the short story collection, and I've only read the first short story in the collection. In my defense, this is a reread, and Elena was sick and throwing up all weekend, so I didn't really have time to do much reading on my own. However, I did have to go and take my national board certification test this morning, and so on the way there, I completed book 5 in the Library Witch series by Elle Adams, and that was Love Spells and Late Fees. This one got a 3 out of 5 stars from me. The last couple of books had gotten a solid 4 out of 5. That one wasn't quite there for me, but solid 3.5 stars. I enjoy it. We follow our main character, Rory. She, in the first book, she really quickly into it finds out that she is magical, And so she winds up going to live with a family that she didn't know about in a magical library to learn her bibliowitch powers. And some of the things happening are super far-fetched, but it is definitely a cozy mystery paranormal series. Very clean, very good. If you're looking for something that includes all sorts of different paranormal creatures, but focuses on like a library and a love of reading and words as magic, this is definitely the series. It is clean. It is decently well written. It's not winning prizes, but it is well written, and it's just fun. It's just fun, and I enjoy it a lot. So I finished that and started. I'm only, I think, a chapter and a half in to book number 6, which is Love Spells and Late Fees. And you can get these books on Audible, which is where I got them. Books 1, 2, and 3 are in a grouping, and then 4, 5, and 6, I think, are in a grouping. No, that was Love Spells and Late Fees that I showed you, which is not it. It's not the one. 4, 5, and 6 in a grouping. Fangs and Fiction is book number 6. So there is that. I anticipate giving it about a 3 or a 4. And we will see what happens with that. However, moving on from that. That's all I've read over the weekend. That's what I'm working on reading right now. I'm going to be writing, so I'm going to work on the Inklings. I wrote a picture book when I got home today. Well, I didn't write a picture book when I got home today. My 3-year-old wrote a picture book, and I wrote it down in English. So she was telling me the story over the weekend, and she wanted me to make it a book. So I've written the text out and sent it on to my mother, who is typically our illustrator. So we will see what happens with her chemo and everything. Sometimes she can't really draw. She has bad neuropathy. Holding the pencils hurts her hands. So we'll see if she can manage to do even one illustration for this for Melody Raylan. Now that all that's out of the way, let's do a story time, because boy howdy, today was a day. Like I said, I went to get my National Board certification test taken care of this morning. National Board does not actually give you a national certification where you can just go anywhere and teach. Nay. It's just a way, it's another stamp on your certification. Now, you can go to any of the states and say, I'm nationally board certified, and that gives you a leg up, but you still have to take the state certification tests. So there's that. It also costs about 4 times as much as the typical state test, which typically costs around $120 to take, and this cost about 4 times that amount, which I don't have. But that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This morning, I woke up and I thought, why is there light streaming through my window? My alarm was supposed to wake me up at 6 a.m. There would not be light streaming through my window at 6 a.m. I glance at my phone, like, what is happening? I wonder if someone has driven up next to my house. No, it's 7:30. It was 7:30. I had a little over an hour's drive to get to the testing center. My test started at 8:30. I was supposed to be there somewhere between 8 and 8:20 to make sure I had ample amount of time to get checked in and prepared before I started the test. That wasn't happening. I got dressed in less than 10 minutes. I was up, dressed, all of my morning things dealt with, in the car, booking it out of my town towards where the test was being given within 8 minutes. I was pulling out of my driveway at 7:38. Turn on my audiobook. I'm cruising on down the highway, listening to my book, going, okay, I won't be too late to start the test. You have a little bit of cushion time. I'll call here in a few minutes because the testing center technically didn't open to people to answer calls until like 8. So I was like, I'll call at 8, let them know. Then I get halfway there, well, a little over halfway there. I'm getting ready to call and be like, hey, I'm going to be just a little late. I'm so sorry. And there is standstill traffic on the rural highway. It's a 4-lane. In the middle of the 4-lane, a semi truck has had a horrific accident. I can't see what's going on until I start hearing sirens. There are a couple of ambulances, like 4 fire trucks, multiple police vehicles. So I call and there's like sirens going on, and the lady who answers is like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, there's a bad accident up there apparently. We're at a standstill. I'm waiting on them to clear it for us to go around. And she's like, okay, well, you do have a little bit of cushion, but this is a 3.5-hour test. You'll be here until about 1. Like, we can wiggle a few things around, but, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll get there as soon as I can. I don't want y'all to miss lunch or anything, right? She's like, oh, no, be safe, whatever. I said, I promise I will try not to panic and I will try to be safe. She's like, don't panic. I'm making a note that you called, that you're on the way to take the test. There was an emergency, blah, blah, blah. Cool. I get to the testing center. I rush in. We get me set up. I pull in at like 8:50. I am signed in. All my stuff is put in the locker and logged in to take this test. I start taking the test about 9:05. Awesome. There's a series of like 45 multiple choice questions on literary techniques and best way to teach varying ages of students from like 7th to 12th grades. Awesome sauce. Texas State test was like 150 multiple choice questions plus the writing thing. So 45, I was like, not a bad deal. I'll take it. I'm trying to read the questions. The questions aren't that difficult, but the lady on the computer next to me taking whatever test she was taking was reading them out loud to herself. Very softly, like she was trying to be very cognizant of the people around her. Like she was doing her dead level best to not make a sound, but she was. So I'm trying to read my questions and answer them, and I just keep hearing and the what kind of that went on for about the first 45 minutes. I finished the multiple choice section, and there were 3 writing sections where they would give you like a piece of text to read and then a prompt and then a piece of student writing that was supposed to be written to the prompt over the text that you read. And you were supposed to give like a weakness of the writing, a strength of the writing, ways they could possibly improve their writing, whatever. So I'm reading through these, answering these. The woman finally gets up, goes on. I finished the test. They give you 195 minutes or something like that. Basically 3.5 hours to take this test. I turned in the last one and was ready to go, having been there logged in taking the test for slightly over an hour and a half. So I'm not sure if I really know what I'm doing, which is what I'm going with because I feel really good about it, or if like I bombed the whole thing. But I won't know until December. They don't release the scores until December for these. If I had taken the state test, I'd know within the next 6 weeks. That's neither here nor there. Then I'm on the way home and I'm like, you know what? I had to pay somewhere around $1,000 for the 2 out of 4 parts of the national board certification that I am working on this year. I no longer teach in Oklahoma. I'm going to call the retirement board and see if I can get what I paid into retirement out because Texas and Oklahoma are not reciprocal states. And I call and they don't do any of it online. they have to send me the paperwork and I have to fill it all out by hand and mail it back. I cannot fax it to them. I cannot do it online. I have to mail it back. And it took like an hour and a half and 2 different people to figure out that I can't even get onto the website because I'm not currently an active teacher in Oklahoma. So then I wrote a picture book. Well, the 3-year-old wrote a picture book over the weekend. She was telling me the story and she wanted me to write it down as a picture book. So I did that today instead of schoolwork or writing on the Inkling because I'm still waiting to find out if I've been accepted, into the PhD program and all that. So I did a couple of annotations and then I was like, I'm going to write Noble Chickens. So I did. And now I'm going to go work on the Inklings because I really need to do that. But that is what I finished over the weekend, what I am working on reading right now this week, and the craziness that was my morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Probably only 1 or 2 of you stuck around to watch the whole thing. If you did, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys more than you could possibly know. And whether or not you stuck around, even though you won't hear me saying this if you didn't, hope that you have a fabulous day. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Until then, stay safe out there.